Well, you'll be very excited to know that Doctor Who has a new companion, and that is a drag queen. It's someone called Jinkx Monsoon, who I'm told won RuPaul's Drag Race. That's a television programme. I do it. There's Jinkx. So Jinkx is going to be the big star on the next series of Doctor Who. That's okay, fine. You know, same as when you tune into EastEnders. There's drag queens all over Albert Square these days. As you say, you got, as I said, you got RuPaul's Drag Race. I mean, you can't really move on the state broadcaster anymore for drag queens. I have nothing against drag queens. They can be in all these shows. By all means, but why? Why? Let's talk to The Sun's amazing TV critic, Ali Ross. Hello, Ali.
Good evening, Kevin. How lovely to see you on this Tuesday evening.
Always a pleasure, mate. Now, why is the BBC so obsessed with drag queens? I'm sure you're celebrating the appointment of Jinkx Monsoon to play a major role in the next series of Doctor Who, but you're probably not that surprised, are you?
Kevin, you have no idea how thrilled I am with this rare opportunity to see a drag queen on the BBC. What would we do without the...
Yeah. What is it? What is it with them? Why are they so obsessed with drag queens?
It's a couple of reasons. One is the relative success of RuPaul's Drag Race and its appeal to a younger audience, and they're desperate to appeal to young people rather than the people who actually pay the licence fee for them. Weird.
Yeah.
And two, the drag queens have taken on a weird sort of political edge to them, of which the BBC would approve.
Yeah.
I know it's Jinkx there. It's a bloke in a dress, by the way.
Yes.
Insists that we refer to him as she, they.
Yeah. And so she's a bloke. She's a bloke in a dress, then. Yeah.
The thing about drag queens is, and you say you've got nothing against them. I do. I just. I've got a lot.
What don't you like about drag queens, Ali?
Well, it's a celebration of women. It's not. It's mocking women.
Yeah.
And unless you do it like Dame Edna, which is the only drag queen I think I've ever found funny, and you make it very obvious. Look, I'm a bloke. I'm not taking on any female identity here. It's just a device for comedy. I say that actually, Some Like It Hot is the only other time I've found men dressing up as women funny.
Yeah.
In fact, probably the greatest film ever made. But, yeah, and so they have this political baggage now, so the BBC thinks, oh, well, that's a good thing. We can use them to lecture people about
of course.
How it's okay to wear a dress.
It's very progressive, Ali. It's very progressive.
Yeah. So...
It's not very progressive. You're right. It's a lot of women, you know, I'm saying I've got nothing against drag queens, but you brought up a good point. A lot of women do have things against drag queens, and they feel that drag queens mock women, that they mock femininity. And there's certainly something sort of grotesquely stylised about drag queens' version of women, isn't there?
I watched Grayson Perry with a woman, and she says, what, that's what you think we look like? Seriously? That's your idea of a woman? What's going on in your head, man? Yeah. If that's what you think a woman is, I find them quite weird. Yeah,
and it's very strange that they seem to sort of saturate every drama you've ever seen now.
They crowbarred in everywhere, from Bake Off to Mastermind.
That's right. Just go away. Let's quickly move on, Ali. I wanted to get your take on... Ungreat Expectations, the BBC's take on Charles Dickens' classic novel, which has basically been turned into a sort of bondage, spanking, sex spectacular featuring Miss Havisham addicted to opium. I don't remember that in the book. What is going on?
Well, the weird thing about this is, for one episode, it kind of held it together, and you thought, like, this is recognisably Dickens, Magwitch, It was a bit weird when he tries to commit suicide in the first scene. But then, for the second episode, you get Toast of London having his arse spanked in the first scene, and you think, oh, hang on, where's this suddenly going? Yeah. And the whole thing just collapsed within the space of an episode. It wasn't, as you say, it wasn't just the spanking. It was the opium. It was it was the reintroduction of slavery in 33 minutes. Now, this is set in
That's
1839.
Right. Yeah. And it's all about the evil empire as well, isn't it? The evils of colonialism.
Britain uniquely outlawed slavery and has spent, by this point, 30 years policing the rest of the world so slavery doesn't exist, trying to cut out the slave trade. But of course, in the BBC's heads, we're just an evil empire. We cannot be given credit for doing this amazing thing, which if any other country, say Norway, had been the first place in the world to outlaw the slave trade, we would never stop eulogising them on the BBC. But because it's us, no credit at all is given. Hundreds of members of the Royal Navy died trying to end the slave trade. But
exactly. It's just... we've just got a few seconds left. Let's quickly remind ourselves of this garish new version of Great Expectations on the BBC. Take it away.
Do everything I tell you to do.
Hope your new boots are waterproof.
We are walking through water.
No. We'll be walking through rivers of blood.
Estella. What a prize creature we have fished from the river.
Yeah, that was Olivia Colman as Miss Havisham there. The thing is, Ali, that although Charles Dickens didn't rail against colonialism and the British Empire in his classic masterpiece novels, the BBC actually knows that he meant to. That was an omission on his part, and they've repaired that mistake on his part. Yeah,
this is what the writer says. I'm just trying to imagine what Charles Dickens would have thought.
Shut up! You're from Peaky Blinders. You're not on the same planet as Charles Dickens, mate.
And by weird coincidence, it's exactly the same as the BBC thinks on everything. So you get the line. And you can airdrop this stuff in if you like, but it jars hideously to the point it doesn't make sense. And you can see the actors struggling with it as well. Yeah. It's just, what the hell is going on here?
Camilla Long in the Sunday Times said that she basically saw the death of period drama in this, and that the thing about the BBC, it used to be the master of period drama. It still likes to make period dramas, it just can't do them anymore.
Well, it just can't help itself, can it?
Are you going to write about this week?
You bet. I'm leading on it.
Good. Excellent.
Yes.
And you're coming to see me on Saturday. We'll talk about it again, yeah?
We shall.
Excellent.
I hope so.
Can't wait. Good to see you, Ali. Thank you very much for your time.